Hey everyone around the world! Welcome to a video that might just keep you up at night. Imagine waking up one day, and everything you know, the streets you walk, cities like New York or Los Angeles, is swallowed by water. What could cause a disaster this massive? The answer lies in the coldest place on Earth: Antarctica. If all its ice melted, it wouldn't just flood the planet, something strange, maybe even terrifying, would be unleashed. Today, we're diving into what could happen, especially to the US, in a scenario no one wants to see come true. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, let's meet Antarctica. It's not just a frozen wasteland, it's the biggest ice giant on Earth, covering 14 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, it's bigger than the entire United States, which is 9.8 million square kilometers and twice the size of Australia. The ice here averages 1.9 kilometers thick, but some spots plunge down 4.7 kilometers deep, enough to bury the Empire State Building with room to spare. Antarctica holds about 26.5 million cubic kilometers of ice. That's 60 to 70% of the planet's freshwater. If it all melted, sea levels would rise by 58 to 60 meters. What does that mean? Picture standing on top of a 20-story building, looking down. That's how deep the water would get across the globe. From Miami to London, nowhere would be safe. But how could a place so far away flip the world upside down? Let's find out. Picture this: you're in the US on the day it happens. You open your door in Miami, but there's no beach, no parties, just salt water up to your knees. Florida would be the first state gone, completely underwater since it's all below 60 meters above sea level. Disney World in Orlando? It'd turn into a giant swamp where Mickey Mouse would need a lifeboat. What about New York? Water would climb to the 20th floor of skyscrapers. Wall Street, the financial heart of America, would become a salty lagoon. On the West Coast, Los Angeles and San Francisco would sink, with the Golden Gate Bridge poking out like a sad memory. California, which grows a third of America's fruits and veggies, would lose its farmland, making an apple cost more than your phone. In Texas, oil hubs like Houston would sit at the bottom of the sea, crippling the energy industry. Over 130 million Americans, 40% of the population, live near the coast and would have to move. But where? Inland states like Colorado or Kansas would become the new coastline, but there's not enough room for everyone. Imagine millions squeezed together, fighting for the last dry patches. Globally, London would sink to Big Ben's neck. Paris would only have the Eiffel Tower peeking out like a flagpole. Tokyo, Shanghai, Bangkok, megacities would be history. Small nations like the Netherlands or the Maldives? Wiped off the map, no matter how good their dams are. And it gets worse. When the ice melts, fresh water from Antarctica would mess up the Gulf Stream, the ocean current that keeps winters in the US and Europe bearable. New York could freeze to Arctic levels, while California bakes like the Sahara. Say goodbye to backyard BBQs or beach vacations. The weather would turn into a nightmare. Fast forward 100 years. The US loses over a third of its land. The Midwest plains, America's breadbasket for wheat and corn, would turn salty, making bread, pizza, or even a bag of fries a luxury. Texas cattle vanish, and the classic American burger becomes a museum piece. In Europe, Britain loses half its land, France clings to the Alps. Over 1 billion people worldwide would cram onto highlands like the Rockies in the US or the Tibetan Plateau. Fresh water would be worth more than gold, and wars could erupt over a single river. Nature collapses too. The bald eagle, America's symbol, loses its forests. Penguins in Antarctica go extinct, and oceans turn chaotic as fresh water kills coral and fish. Scientists say 70% of animal species could vanish if temperatures rise another 5 degrees Celsius, a real possibility if Antarctica melts completely. But here's where it gets chilling. Beneath Antarctica's ice lie over 400 hidden lakes, like Lake Vostok, as big as Lake Ontario in the US. These lakes trap methane, a greenhouse gas 25 times stronger than CO2, enough to heat the planet by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius more. California wildfires would become yearly disasters, Florida hurricanes would feel like blockbuster movies. And scarier still, those lakes hold ancient bacteria, frozen for 2 million years since the dinosaur days. If they escape, we could face pandemics our modern medicine can't touch. But Americans don't give up. In this future, you might see massive floating cities straight out of Waterworld rising off the coast. Or NASA could turn flooded Florida into a launch pad to colonize Mars. Here's a wild idea. Some scientists suggest pumping seawater back onto Antarctica and refreezing it with nuclear power. Sounds like sci-fi, but who knows? Don't panic yet. Antarctica hasn't melted completely, and we've still got time. Right now, it loses 150 to 200 billion tons of ice a year, enough to submerge a city like New Orleans, but a total meltdown would take centuries, maybe millennia. The US is leading the charge with green tech. California gets 50% of its power from solar, and Tesla's electric cars are changing how we roll. If the US, Europe, and other big players cut CO2, sea levels might only rise 1 to 2 meters instead of 60. Every time you bike instead of drive or use a reusable bag, you're helping keep Florida from turning into Atlantis. This is everyone's fight, from Texas farmers to Silicon Valley engineers. Antarctica isn't just ice, it's our future. What we do today decides if our kids get to enjoy summer at the beach or not. That's it for our wild ride from Antarctica melting to America underwater and secrets unleashed from the ice. What do you think? Will we float on cities, move to Mars, or face ancient bacteria? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks to viewers worldwide for watching. See you next time.